Blessings, family. Today, I had the Spirit drop a thought on me, and it's surrounding Jesus cursing the fig tree. And I'm just going to read that to you from Matthew. And to give you a little backdrop, this is after Jesus left the temple, after he turned over the tables of the money changers, doves flying everywhere. Jesus is going in. He's telling them, you will not buy and sell things in a temple. The temple will be a house of prayer, and you have made it into a den of thieves. So this is after that. And then they went back to Bethany for the night. So it picks actually picks up at verse 18. And it says, in the morning, as Jesus was returning to Jerusalem, he was hungry. And he noticed a fig tree beside the road. He went over to see if there were any figs, but there were only leaves. Then he said to it, may you never bear fruit again. And immediately the fig tree withered up. The disciples were amazed when they saw this and asked, how did the fig tree wither so quickly? And I'm just going to stop there. And I had a couple thoughts after reading this. First thought was, what if Matthew just didn't know? Because we got to remember, Matthew worked for Rome as a tax collector. So he was treated as an exile. So he probably had not planted or farmed a day in his life. So what if he just didn't know? What if he just didn't know about farming and why the tree did not have any figs in it? Then if we go over to Mark gives us a context clue and tells us that it wasn't yet seasoned for fruit. So that was my first thought. What if Matthew just didn't know, given his profession as a tax collector, and he probably never farmed a day in his life, so he probably didn't know to plant the seasons for seed and the season for harvest, and the time in between both. And then we get over to someone like Mark, who probably farmed, because I still don't know what Mark's profession was. So maybe Mark knew about seed time and harvest time and all that time in between, when leaves start to form right before fruit came, and he knew the different seasons in which to expect different things from his crop. So that was my first thought. Then my second thought was, when they was going back and forth, they was going back to Jerusalem from Bethany, that had to be like a commonly used road or a pathway. So my second thought was, what if somebody had already picked the fruit before Jesus got to the tree? What if? What if someone either a couple minutes before Jesus got to the tree had just picked the last piece of fruit? Because it had to be a commonly used road. This is my thought, just going only on Matthew's account before I read Mark. Then after reading Mark, and he given me that context clue that it wasn't yet seasoned for fruit, I began to think, and the Spirit just began to minister to me. What if it's not? What if it's not your season? What if it's not your season? You've been working and grinding and praying and fasting. You have tried everything under the sun that you know to do, and it just seems like nothing is working. All the while, it seems like everyone around you is prospering and advancing ahead of you. And it's just like, as I'm thinking on it, and the Spirit is just ministering to me, what if it's not your season? It's not your season. It's not your season. Because for everything under the sun, there is a time and a season. What if it's not your season? And you can't force it. You can't will it. You can't make it happen. You have to wait on the timing of God in due season. What if it's not your season? And it's just like you just standing still, or you just stagnant. You just standing in one place. And then I got this thought. What if God has you planted here in this particular place or season in your life purposely? Because God sits outside of time, so he's not bound by time. So he sees everything. What if the season that we are in right now is the season in between when he planted us and when we're supposed to bear fruit? What if we're in between? What if we're somewhere in between? And that thought just kept coming. It's not your season. It's not your season to bear fruit. I have you here for a specific reason. I am developing you. I have planted you here for a reason. I am developing something in you. So when you do produce fruit in my name, they're like, no man on earth will be able to stop it, and no demon in hell will be able to come against it. I've even heard people and read that the gates of hell would not even be able to prevail against it. When God breathes on something, when he blesses it, when he gives it his name, his zeal, nothing will be able to stand against it. But until we reach that season, what if it's not your season? What if it's just not your season to bear fruit? Let me know what y'all think. Just tap in and let me know what y'all think. Until next time, family. Peace.